urgent real-time Bitcoin forecast, and how to become extremely successful and wealthy in 2024. New Year's blessings to you, and literally what you can do to just level up and change your life entirely. So we're gonna cover those two things: Bitcoin forecast, and we're gonna cover big picture, not just with Bitcoin, but just your entire life, how to become powerful, successful, happy, and how to multiply these things, how to multiply your power, how to multiply and wealthy, how to multiply your wealth, and how to multiply your happiness. Because have you noticed that we're the only people on this planet that seem to be precisely able to tell you the exact bottom for Bitcoin and the long-term exact top and all the moves in between, and even with 1,000x leverage precision, literally 0.1% accuracy precision, I can tell you whether we're going to go up or down. Not even 1% margin of error. And we just keep hitting it, right? Just over and over and over again. How is that done? Well, let's get the urgent real-time Bitcoin forecast part out of the way. And then I'm going to explain to you how we do what we do, how we do the Bitcoin forecast thing. And then I'm going to explain how you apply that to the rest of your life so that even beyond Bitcoin, you can multiply. So let's say Bitcoin makes you rich. Well, if the rest of your life uses the same principles we use to predict Bitcoin, you could become 10 times, 100 times richer and more successful and more powerful and effective in your life. And it's using the same principles we use to predict Bitcoin. We can use that algorithm for Bitcoin prediction, which I'm going to give you right now, to predict how your life is going to turn out. And just telling you, hey, this year's going to suck. This year, you're just going to go bankrupt. Just telling you that doesn't help you at all, right? It's like you're better off not knowing. It's like, well, you're going to die in 3 years. Thanks for telling me. If I'm going to tell you something like that, I have the responsibility of telling you how to avoid this, right? The same thing. Not only can I tell you whether Bitcoin's going to go up or down, I can also tell you whether your finances are going to go up or down, but I can also tell you how to change it, how to multiply your success through the same system that I used to be able to predict the course of Bitcoin. So here's the prediction for Bitcoin. We're in the short right now. We're in a 100x short, I think. Yeah, 100x to 200x short right now. But I don't know whether it's going to dump and stay dumped, or whether it's going to dump and then dump more, or whether it's going to dump and then pump to $100,000 per Bitcoin until I see how it dumps. Based on how it dumps, I know whether it's going to bounce, whether it's going to dump more, or whether it's just going to stay at that price and just flatline and Bitcoin becomes a stable coin for the next year or two. So is Bitcoin going to dump in a gradual steepening arc, like a bearish parabola, and just slide down? Is Bitcoin going to dump in a series of really quick flash dumps, like doof, and then zag, and then zig, and then zag, and then zig, and zag, and just make these Z patterns going down? Is Bitcoin just going to crash like the FTX crashes, where it just dumps 15%, just boom, and then consolidates for 30 more minutes, and then boom, and then consolidates for another 30 minutes, and then boom, boom, and just keep dumping? Depending on how it dumps, I'm going to be able to tell you whether we keep dumping or whether we bounce or whether we stay there. What is that called, though? And how do we use that technique to foretell your future? And how do we use that same technique to make you powerful, rich, and happy, and even healthy? That technique is called Harmonics. It's called Harmonics. If you've ever studied any way, so I guess I told you. Yeah, we're in a short right now for Bitcoin. So there's that. Now, more importantly, bigger picture, how do you use that same algorithm, that same analysis structure to predict your own life's future and to change it if it's not favorable for you. Because knowing your future does you absolutely no good if you can't change it. What's the use of knowing something if you can't do anything about it? You're going to get hit by a train. Okay, thanks. What should I do? Nothing. You can stay at home and the train's going to run through your apartment. I mean, that's worthless knowledge, right? Absolutely worthless. The reason why knowledge is important is because you can leverage the knowledge to change the outcome of events, right? So that's what I'm going to tell you how to do. On the flip side, if your future in the next year, next 5 years, or next 50 years until you die, extremely peaceful death while you're sleeping with a Swedish bikini team, happens, well, you can also multiply your joy and happiness and success even from that level of absolute success. So you could, if you're going to make $1 million, why not make $100 million and then give 99 of those $1 million to the people you love, right? So if your destiny for the next couple of years is bad, how to reverse it. If your destiny for the next couple of years is good, how to multiply it so you can actually change the lives of the people that you love. That is also determined by the same algorithm or the same method we use to determine whether Bitcoin goes up or down. Now, I'm telling you, I'm linking those two things together because you've seen how precise we are with Bitcoin, bottoms and tops. I'll say Bitcoin's going to dump, and everybody that's in the long or everybody that still hasn't made their money back, they'll leave all sorts of nasty, mean, coping comments. Well, they're not coping yet. They'll just tell me I'm an idiot and moron and I'm wrong and all that. And then 8 hours later, Bitcoin dumps really hard, and then they leave coping comments or they block me or whatever. So I'm linking those two things together to show you that if it's possible to predict, and it's even easier to predict the future of the S&P 500 because it has more mass to it. It just has more, the rule of large numbers applies with even more magnitude in the S&P 500 than Bitcoin. So it's, with Bitcoin, I've revised my predictions several times. I've said, we're going to pump, and then last minute, I thought we were going to pump, but no, I think we're going to dump. So before we dumped, I'll tell you, I'll correct my, based on new data, I'll correct my stance. But with the S&P 500, I don't think I've ever done that. With the S&P 500, I've told you days, if not weeks in advance what's going to happen. And that's exactly what happens. Because it's so heavy that all the players are already in there and they're already at 100% exertion. So all the cards are on the table with the S&P 500. With Bitcoin, no, all the cards are not on the table, and all of a sudden there could be a new player that has new information and they decide to do something totally different than all the pre-existing players in the game right now for today or whatnot. So that's why Bitcoin's harder to tell. But I can tell you these things by using, again, harmonics. And using the same structure of harmonics, I can tell you whether you're going to be rich next year, you're going to be poor tomorrow, you're going to be super happy in 3 years or not, and how to change it. So, how do you do that? A little bit about harmonics. Just a little bit about harmonics, okay? I'm on 8 minutes. This is how it works. The entire universe, when it's made, it's just full of energy. And everybody knows that energy comes in different wavelengths, right? This is one energy, and then this is another energy, and this is another energy, right? Energy is all about different wavelengths. And we have all sorts of different energies. What most people don't think about, beyond that fact that we all know, because radio frequency, you tune it to 91X or you tune it to 106.7, or whatever you, well, for you radio people that are over like ancient dinosaur age, you turn it to a different frequency and all of a sudden you have a different channel. Yeah, that's how radio waves work. You broadcast on either this frequency or you broadcast on this frequency, and you stay within this parameter, and this radio picks up all the vibrations, and, which is exactly the way a vinyl record works, because there's grooves in the record that you're picking up. So everything's about amplitude and about wavelength. Okay? And that's all over the world, and you're getting that from all the stars, you're getting that from the Earth itself, you're getting that from the sun, you're getting that from reflected from the moon and from the moon itself and the gravity of the moon, and you're getting it all over and all the planets. Now, here's the thing. Some energies are harmonic together, like you play this one note on the piano and you play another note on the piano, all of a sudden, it sounds great together. It sounds really great together. Some wavelengths are dissonant. So in the dictionary it says that whenever two sounds sound good together, it's consonant. And whenever two sounds conflict with each other and just fight each other, it's called dissonance. And so you play two different notes, which are two different wavelengths, and they sound, it sounds horrible together, right? What is that? Is that just subjective human experience? No. Cats hate consonants or dissonance as well. Same thing. So dogs, hell, if you have dissonance, you literally break wine glasses. You've seen the opera singer sing at a high shrill sound, and the wine glass or the chalice or the goblet itself breaks. Exactly the same thing. The structure of this is not compatible with the wavelength of that, and so it breaks. The universe is filled with this. Interestingly enough, the moment you were born, you got a data imprint. You got imprinted with exactly the energies that were in the air at the moment of your birth. Does that make sense? So let's say when you were born, I don't know, a Van Halen song was playing. Bam! The moment you're born, you're imprinted with that Van Halen song. But it's not a Van Halen song. What it is it's gravitational waves, it's gamma rays, it's X-rays, it's ultraviolet waves that are coming from the universe. It's all of that that's imprinting your body. That also happened when your first cellular mitosis happened. When you became the first two cell. Because here, this one cell can change. This one cell, the DNA in the cell can alter and your chromosomes can change and all that. But the moment these two cells go, boop, now it's set in stone. They have to be identical. You can't have this one change without this changing too. Because you know what that's called? If one cell is ABC and the other cell is ABD or ABR or whatever, this cell is different, it's called cancer. And it kills both. That's dissonance, again, at the cellular level. So the moment you were born, you absorbed and got imprinted with all the energy from all the planets and all the stars. Makes sense, right? The first breath you took as an infant, when you came out of your mom's belly, is the energy you were imprinted with. Now, because just the nature of waves themselves, because there are consonant waves and dissonant waves, waves that sound great together harmonically, that magnify the effect of all waves, and waves that conflict with each other and just destroy each other. Because of that fact, that means that the waves that you were born with, imprinted with the moment you were born, are just sitting there, and you're just going about your day, you're trading, and you're trying to make smart decisions, and you're trying to be cool at the bar to pick up on the new chick, and suddenly, something changes with the stars, and the planetary locations change, and start bombarding you with energy that's dissonant to the energy of your nervous system, that's dissonant to the energy of your DNA itself. So normally you'd go up to a girl and you'd be totally confident and funny, and for some reason you're just nervous, you're uncomfortable, your stomach's growling, you kind of have diarrhea, and you can't even be witty and confident and funny the way you used to be. That's why. It's because you're this structure, you're this wine glass, and the universe is this opera singer going, oh, trying to break you, trying to destroy you. That's harmonics. And how we do Bitcoin chart analysis is the same way. We look at the candlestick patterns. You look at the candlestick patterns and you see, oh, here's this wavelength. And then, wait a second, this wavelength looks like it's going to end on this date. But there's another wavelength coming from this side that's looking like this, and these are actually consonant wavelengths. When consonant wavelengths come together, now you start, lights coming off? Isn't that cool? Consonant wavelengths come together and they end at just about the same point in time. Bam! Bitcoin pumps. Dissonant wavelengths, one goes like beep, 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 and another wavelength goes boom, 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 and they look like they're going to end. They're triangling at the same time. They're literally triangling to end at the same time. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, when these two hit at this point in time, we're just going to dump. Ta-da! Now you know something absolutely fantastic. But the same thing applies to your life. So that's even more impressive. That's even more amazing and spooky. If you want to emotionalize this conversation. So what ends up happening is, and I can tell you right now, after doing the full analysis, in about 12 years, there are only about 50 or 60 days. In all 12 years. In 12 years, how many days is that? 12 times 360. That's a lot of days. There's only about 50 or 60 days where everything's going to go your way. That means out of the 360 times 12, 3,600, wow. Almost 4,000. Almost 4,200, is it 4,200 days? 4,150 of those days are going to suck. Well, they're not going to suck. Half of those days are going to be like blah. They're just going to be boring. Nothing's attacking you. Nothing's helping you. The things that you're doing do work out, except that, oh man, it's such a grind. But at least I'm being successful. But is it worth it? Do I really want to be successful working this hard? Is like 60% of that. 30% of it is just, let's just destroy this MFer. Let's just get him out of the system. The whole universe eventually wins in destroying you because you end up dying. Eventually you end up dying. It's only those 50 or 60 days out of an entire 12-year series of days that keep your life going. Funny thing is, the people that live long, happy lives, those 60 or those 12-year periods of time, they get both ends of it. It's kind of like someone that lives in 3 different centuries. He was born in like 1899. And he lived until the year 2001. Wow, he lived over a 300-year period of time. Yeah, he was born in 1899 and he died in 2001. Okay, so he lived across 300 years. True. Exactly the same thing happens to people that are really lucky. They get that 50 or 60 days in the beginning and at the end of their life. So that end of that life ends up making them like Charlie Munger, where you're 100 years old and you're a rich bastard, all 100 years old, even though you lost an eye at one point. How do you do that? Like Charlie Munger, do you have to change your birth date? Not necessary. Why? Because of the rule of harmonics. If you want to learn more about this on your own time outside of this video, you can. Just study, if you study harmonics, you're not going to get much because there's really nothing written about it. You can study wave theory, and you can study wave theory's impact on DNA and mitosis and recombination. But it's really, really technical. So, and I haven't found any really simple stuff. So anyway, that's how you would do it. Because, or you would study Taoist metaphysics, because Taoist metaphysics is the 5,000-year-old version of the same thing explained in simple language, except the problem is that the language is Chinese. And the problem is ancient Chinese that's based on Buddhic origin. So even if you understand how to pronounce these words, you don't know what they mean because they're like, is what they say. So even if you're Chinese, you don't understand this stuff. So basically, no. I guess I'm the only one that can explain it to you on YouTube. There's a bunch of other people that can explain it to you, but they're not going to explain it to you on YouTube and not in English. So, yeah, you can't do more research on this. Sorry. Where was I before I went off on that tangent? Okay. You don't have to be reborn. Which is interesting because that is actually the easiest way. That is actually the easiest way to change your luck, is to be born again. Fascinatingly, that's exactly what the Templars picked up on. The Catholic Church, you have to be born again, is what Jesus said, to inherit the kingdom of God, which basically just means just live in a peaceful... Anyway, you can interpret the kingdom of God anyway, but it's better than the hell you're living in now, is what Jesus was saying. You have to be born again. Because you have to change your birth date to where you overlap and get those 50 or 60 dates twice in your life, twice in a period of 12 years instead of just once. Or not. Is that the only way? I can't change my destiny? Aha. The way harmonics works, I said, is through waves, right? So, the moment I was born, I have this kind of wave coming from the planets, this kind of wave coming from the stars, this kind of wave coming from the sun, this kind of wave coming from the core of the earth, and the moon and all that. Okay, great. And you're telling me that 80-90% of the time, the waves that I get from the universe are going to be against me. They're going to be dissonant to me? Yes. Only about 1 or 2% of the time, I'm going to get waves that are absolutely perfectly empowering to me, that supercharge me, superpower me. Yes, only about 0.5% of the time out of a 12-year span. Every 12 years it changes or it refreshes. Does that mean those energies are gone? What did Einstein say? What does everybody know? Is energy ever gone? Energy is never gone. Energy is never gone. You're just not getting it from the stars. You're just not getting it from the earth. You're just not getting it from the sun. You're just not getting it from the moon for another 5 years or 8 years. Are light bulbs starting to go off? Chills down your spine? Are there other sources of that same energy that hits me every 50 or 60 days out of every 12 years? 50 or 60 days out of 12 years, that energy, is that in other places? Or is that in, because you just told me they're not in other times. But we live in a 4-dimensional universe, at least. Because not only is time a dimension, but there's also space. What I'm telling you is, if you can't find something in time, then you can find it in space. What I'm telling you is, if the sun doesn't give you successful energy, if the moon doesn't give you the energy of success, those two are things. You can get them the same energy from other things. That's the exciting part. That's the super, super exciting part. So, in the beginning of this video, when I told you that you might have a very successful year next year. You might have a horrible, disastrous year next year because you're not getting the wavelengths and the energies that you need. If you're going to have a very successful year, you can multiply that like a magnifying glass with the sunlight to just create enough heat to burn newspapers. You can just concentrate that and consolidate that, multiply that until you get an explosive amount of energy just from the sunlight and just one magnifying glass. If next year is already going to be successful for you, how do you get that energy? Really simple. First of all, identify what kind of energy you particularly need for the moment you were born, for your birthday. The moment you were born, since you were imprinted with the energies of the universe, and because the energies of the universe have a predefined and known or knowable wavelength consonance and wavelength dissonance matches. All you have to do is know when you were born so that you know what energies you were imprinted with. And then you have to know which energies are good for you and which energies are bad for you, consonant for you and dissonant for you. And then thirdly, finally, you have to know how to get those energies that you need to become successful, to become wealthy, happy, healthy. On those days where everything goes your way and you remember those days, it's just weird. All the lights are green. Everybody's nice to you. Somehow, you rear end somebody, and it ends up being a super hot girl that says she wants to take you out on a date, and turns out she's super rich. What? And why is everything working out so well? This is my life. This is awesome. I think I finally made it, and then all of a sudden you lose everything 2 months later. It's happened to me multiple times, over and over again. Every time it happened to me, I keep wondering, what's the difference? What's the difference between when I'm successful and when I'm a failure? Objectively, I look at everything I do, and I'm doing exactly the same thing, the same way. And the only difference is the result. It's the weirdest thing. You talk to people that are billionaires, and they'll tell you, all you have to do is put in the work. Plan, look for opportunities, look for niches where you can make a difference in life, and then build. Program. Code. And then they will come. You build it, they will come. You get rich. No. I've built. I've coded. I've programmed. I've made everything, and I went bankrupt. That's called survivorship bias, where this guy did the exact same thing as you did, and he succeeded. So he says all you have to do is this, and you'll succeed. You did this exactly the same way, and you just failed. That's called survivorship bias. He thinks that you just do what he did. Tell him to do what he did again, and he won't succeed again. Start from the same place all over again, and do it all over again. He won't succeed this time. Why? It's a different moment in time, so he gets different energies from the universe that nobody realizes, because you can't see these waves coming from the stars. You can't see these waves coming from the planets and in the earth itself and the moon. But you can. In my new website. I love this new website. It's futureview.app. I love this website. I just joined. I was one of the first people to join because this is my passion. Harmonics and forecasting, foretelling the future. Go there and it'll tell you what energies you're made of. Then it'll tell you what energies you need to supercharge yourself. It'll also tell you what energies will destroy you and everything that you've worked on. Finally, the website will match you together with other members, other registered members that complete you, that give you exactly the energy that you need to become super powerful. On the website, it calls them soulmates. So they will introduce you to your soulmates. Whether you get introduced to a 80-year-old dude or whether you get introduced to a 19-year-old girl, that's immaterial. When you work with these people, they are your soulmates. They will give you the energy, the inspiration, if your soulmate happens to be within your age range, you can even get married and have the most successful, powerful life. You remember the Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett. You remember Bill Gates and Steve Allen. Was it? Yeah, I think so. You remember Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. Oh, Paul Allen. None of the billionaires that you see out there did it alone. None of them. Every one of the most successful people on earth. Look at Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. If it wasn't for those two being together, they wouldn't have succeeded this far and gotten away with anything. Even Donald Trump. Um, you know who he had on his by his side the whole time? His daughter. His daughter was. If you look up, if you compare his daughter's birth date to Donald Trump's birth date in FutureView.app, the result is amazing. They support each other. So that's what this app does. Go ahead and join it and save your birthday, because it'll introduce you to people that will change your life. Literally, your perfect soulmate, the people that have exactly the right harmonic frequency energy that you need to become super successful. And hell, if they're a really hot chick, the more power to you. Good for you. If you're a girl and you like really hot chicks too, hey, even better. Also, let's see. I'm going to put up a link. This is brand new. This is absolutely brand new. I'm going to put up a link to the monthly VIP membership. It's like $29 a month or something. I'm going to put up the link to the blog post that has that link in it. If you join as a premium member, first, I talked to the devs, and I think they can do like the first 10 or 20 people. They're going to give you a $2,000 full analysis. What that full analysis is, what it entails, I guess I can give you a brief overview. A full 5-year outlook of your life. 60 months, and how every single month is going to be for you. It can literally predict whether 18 months from now you're going to be happy or unhappy. It can literally predict whether 33 months from now you're going to be rich or poor. It's the weirdest thing. It's like me predicting the S&P 500. I could do it like, I can tell you a month in advance whether the S&P 500 is going to go to this price or this price. And I don't think I've ever revised that. I think I've always been right. But anyway, it's the same principle. We use the same principle to tell you whether you're going to be rich or poor, win or lose, at any point in time over the next 60 months. But more important than that, how to change it if you don't like the outcome. And if you do like the outcome, how to multiply it so you get even more success. To get all that, that's only available, that's actually not even available for monthly VIP subscribers. That is a premium, I think it costs like $1,000 for that full report. But for the first 20 or so members, you get it for free. So what I'll do is I'll put that link in the comments. Go to the comments, and if you want the full 5-year outlook and forecast for your luck and power by 60 months, which costs $1,000 once again for free, then just join the monthly VIP membership. Well, what do I get if I join the monthly VIP membership thing for $29 a month? Why should I get that? Why? Well, because $29 a month is a lot cheaper than $1,000, number one. And you get all sorts of other stuff, including daily alarms that tell you, that will email you and say, today is a very lucky day. Do not stay at home. Go out and take risks. Go out and buy something. Go out and buy a stock. Doesn't matter what stock it is, because if you buy it today, it's bound to go up. You get these kinds of alerts. Today is a dissonant day. Today is a discord day. Do not go out. Do not take risks. Do not make deals. Do not sign any contracts. Do not take any risks at all today. Just stay home or delegate. Get someone else to do it for you, because they're going to be successful while you're not going to be successful. You get that email every single time you get an extreme lucky day or extreme unlucky day. That's what VIP members get. If you're not a VIP $29 a month member, then you have to check the website every single day. And you can. You can just go to the website every single day and check today's harmonic energy and compare it to your own harmonic energy. And it'll tell you whether today's lucky or not. But for that $29 a month, you get that automatically pushed to your email. And you get full chat support. You get full support from a Harmonics advisor. Anyway, there's a lot more to this. So, and I'm at 35 minutes, so I'm going to close here. I'm going to wish you the most successful and prosperous 2024. May you be super insanely rich and happy this year. And you can enforce it by going to futureview.app. Go check the comments because I'm going to put the link to that free $1,000 60-month forecast and remedy thing. I guess I want to tell you this too. That particular remedy also has one of my favorite components to that remedy thing is it tells you what place on Earth, where on Earth you get. Oh, I don't think I covered. I started talking about this and I didn't finish talking about this. If you can't get the energy you need to be successful and happy and powerful from the stars, that energy doesn't disappear. Energy is always present. You can get it from other places. If you can't get it in time by waiting for it to come to you from the stars and the planets, then you can just go to physical locations on Earth and get that same energy. That is originally the concept with Feng Shui. It tells you where the energy centers are of the Earth. Different places on Earth have different energies. You've noticed that, right? You go to some places on Earth, you just sit there and you start crying. Have you noticed that? You go to other places on Earth, you sit there and you have to drink. You just start drinking beer, tons of it. You go to some places on Earth and for some reason it's freaky. You're just scared to death. I don't know what it is about this place, but it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Places have energies. And this a 60-month outlook will also tell you where you need to go to supercharge yourself so that you don't have to wait for those 50 or 60 days that happen every 12 years. You can get them right now and see how it changes your life. I just got back from one of those places and here I am just talking my head off for 40 minutes, where yesterday I was just exhausted. I couldn't even do a 1-minute TikTok. It's the coolest thing. Try it. See if it changes your life. You can't lose for $29 and you can just cancel the next month. Get rich. Check the comments for the link.